Let's talk about kerosene pickles. Let's talk about Old Man Rimshaw. Let's talk about Barney's sidecar. It's always fun to hang out with y'all. A loaded goat is causing a stir from the panic he is creating. Come on in, take a seat. It's 2 chairs, no waiting. Sit a spell and tune right in. We are about to start the show. We have a lot to talk about with the folks that we all know. Opie, Andy, and Il Malmaloo, Otis, Barn, and the Darlings too. This will be amazing. It's 2 chairs, no waiting. There's pictures from Mount Airy and video of a parade. We share it all right here, the memories we've all made. Get a drink and grab a spot. This will be amazing. It's Alan and his friends. It's 2 chairs, no waiting. It's 2 chairs, no waiting. It's 2 chairs, no waiting. Let's start the show. 2 chairs, no waiting.
Two Chairs No Waiting, brought to you by Weaver's Department Store. That's right, Weaver's Department Store. Head over to Weaver's and check out all the items they got there. You got brand new, deluxe versions of the Mayberry Sheriff and Deputy badge you can go and check out. You also have car coasters that look like the door badge on the Mayberry Squad car, as well as a keychain. And you can pick up some Floyd's Barbershop stuff. While you're over there, head over to weaversdepartmentstore.com and check it out. This week's episode, Crime Free Mayberry, episode number 835, is brought to you by our producer, Russell Estes, our executive producer. Thank you, Russell, and thank you all for being here with me. I'm Alan Newsom, the host of 2 Chairs No Waiting. It's great to have you with us. I'm shaken up because of that jingle at the beginning of the show. I hope you guys like that. That is brand new for this week, and Russell Estes is the one who provided it to me. So thank you to Russell. He is our executive producer. He deserves it. Man, I've been grinning ever since he sent me the song. I hope you liked it. We'll definitely be using it here on the podcast. I may have to trim it down a little bit so it won't be quite as long, but it is awesome. And I'm so thankful for it. I told him I felt like I'm on the Rick and Bubba show now or something, that I've got a jingle. Folks, it's so good to have you here with me. This week we're going to be talking about Crime Free Mayberry. The episode of The Andy Griffith Show is actually the 41st episode of The Andy Griffith Show that was filmed, but it was the 39th episode that was aired. So it's from season 2. It's episode number 7 aired of that season. So we'll be going through all of that information. I hope you're going to enjoy it. I know I'm going to enjoy talking about it, because I enjoy talking about the Andy Griffith Show. And I'm so glad that you're here with me, and we are going to get into it in just a second here. I want to just once again thank Russell for that. I'm still, like I said, I'm shook up. I'm all shook up. I feel like I should be Elvis. I don't know. But we're gonna do the episode. We're gonna talk about odd facts known by few, and then we're gonna play some trivia. But first, we're gonna play trivia, I should say, because I don't want you to miss out on this. But we're gonna play some extra trivia at the end. So at the end of the show, we will go over the answers to the trivia I'm just about to ask you, and then we're gonna go into some trivia that Paul Mulick sent in. So we got a lot to do. So let's get this thing started. So let me go ahead and play some of our trivia background music so you can get into the mood. Now, these trivia questions are coming from MeTV because I found them there, and I think that's a good place to do. So what we're going to do, because they're all trivia related to this episode of the Andy Griffith Show, Crime Free Mayberry. So we're going to go into that first. That way I don't give away the answers during the actual show. So question number 1, here it is. I'm going to read them pretty quick and we're going to go through them. What's the name of the tune Andy sings when the episode is opening? Is it Wreck of the Airman Fitzgerald, Tom Dooley, or The Ballad of John Henry? What's the name of that song? He's at the beginning of the episode. Number 2, Mayor Pike enters the jailhouse and introduces a man to Barney and Andy that he calls Fred Jenkins, Frank Jeffries, or Fernando Jones. Which is it? Number 3, there's 10 questions, by the way. Write them down if you can't remember your answers. Mayberry is supposedly the most crime-free community in, is it the state, the East Coast, or the United States? What does they tell us? That was question 3. Number 4, Barney says that the word that best describes him and Andy is humble, modest, or unassuming. Which is the word that describes them best? Number 5, the newspaper woman gets mad because Andy tells a story about killing is it a carp, a pike, or a trout? That was question 5. Number 6, this is a quote that you need to fill in the blank here at the end. There's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, there's me, and fill out the blank. Is it good old Aunt B, his boy Opie, or baby makes 3? Which is the way to fill that one out. Number 7, the Ballad of Andy and Barney, or what's the other name of this song? The Folly of Crime, The Gangster's Mistake, or The Heroes of Mayberry? How does that fit in there? Number 8, the nickname Barney uses in this episode is Fast Gun Fife, Old Reliable Fife, or Barney the Wicked? What's the nickname he uses in this one? Number 9, Barney leaps to the stage and exclaims, Stemper Tyrannus, or Come Try Us, Crooks, or We Defy the Mafia. What does Barney yell out? All right. And number 10, this is the one episode of the Andy Griffith Show written by Paul Henning. He later created, what did he create? The Big Valley, Matlock, or the Beverly Hillbillies? What did he create? All right. So how are you doing on those? Those are our trivia for this week's episode of Crime Free Mayberry. All right. So now you have got to come up with the answers, and I guarantee you during the show here, I'm about to give away some of those answers. So let's start reviewing this episode of the Andy Griffith Show. Now, if you don't remember what it's about, we'll go through it here as we do. I already given you the information about when it was aired, or when it was filmed. Filmed was 41st, aired 39th. It was originally aired on November the 20th, 1961. The writer was Paul Henning, and the director was Bob Sweeney. All right, so now in this episode, it starts off with Andy in the courthouse with Otis watching him play the guitar. So Otis is in the jail cell tapping along with Andy as he sings. What's he singing? That was one of our trivia contest questions. The Ballad of John Henry. John Henry is what he's singing. All right, so Andy is singing that song along, and Otis is tapping along. He's enjoying the music, and it's a lot of fun to watch, because this is a shot we don't usually get of Andy sitting by the front door of the courthouse on that railing that's there, the wall, the short wall that separates the two. He's sitting there and looking over at Otis, who's in the jail cell, and we're looking out through the jail cell when Barney enters the courthouse, and Barney is in a bad mood. He's in a bad mood, and he's like complaining about the music. What is this, a music hall? What is this? What are we doing? And he basically is just in a bad mood. So he ends up even trying to get Otis out of here. He don't want even Otis in the jail cell. And basically what's bothering Barney turns out to be that he's been down or seen I believe it was the state police office. And, they don't have anything there in Mayberry. They don't have any tear gas. They don't have anything, not even a helicopter. And he's complaining about the state of affairs there in Mayberry at the courthouse. So the mayor comes walking in with a gentleman with him. He walks in and he introduces him as, do you know the answer to that one? Fred Jenkins. That's who he is. Fred Jenkins from the FBI. He brings him in and introduces him. And he basically begins to tell Andy and Barney that he's there because J. Edgar had sent him. And it was because Mayberry has the lowest crime rate in the United States. Of course, before he even tells him that, Barney's still yelling about, he said, I told you, Andy, we don't have enough equipment. And then that happens. Of course, he lights up and he's all excited about it because the sheriff or the mayor is really saying these are the men that are responsible for that. And Andy says, well, no, not really. It's not really us and everything. And so the mayor and Barney are standing there as Andy tries to downplay the role of the Mayberry Sheriff's Department in keeping Mayberry so safe. And to the point where Barney says, Andy, you don't want to be late for your barber appointment, do you? You got an appointment with a barber. He says, I don't have a barber appointment. And the mayor goes, yeah, you didn't want to be late for the barbershop since you're going to be getting pictures of you and stuff. So he runs him. He basically takes Andy out of the courthouse and leaves Barney sitting there talking to the FBI guy. And of course, this is, Barney is, he's just eating up the fact that the town of Mayberry has been declared the lowest crime rate in the country. So it flips over and Andy is in the barbershop getting his haircut by Floyd because I guess he decided he would get a haircut since both Barney and the mayor were saying he needed to. And he's telling Floyd about catching a carp. Mr. Carp. He's telling this whole story about catching this fish. And that's while Floyd's cutting his hair, obviously. And the mayor comes walking in with a newspaper reporter. Now, this newspaper lady, she comes in to interview Andy about this low crime rate in Mayberry. And the mayor is bringing her in there because he's wanting this publicity for Mayberry. This is good publicity. So they walk in as they're talking and the mayor introduces the lady reporter to Andy and Floyd and tells what he's there for. And I guess you were talking about what we've been talking about. It's what the mayor says. And Floyd has no idea what it's about, but they are nice about meeting the lady. And Andy has not even told Floyd about this crime rate situation because he really doesn't feel like he should get credit for that. But the lady reporter listens to the story and go ahead and tell the story you were telling, Sheriff. So he starts talking about the carp. He said, oh yeah, well, I said, Mr. Carp, I took him out and he hit him, he beats up the carp. And this lady completely misunderstands, thinking it's a real man, Mr. Carp, that he's been beating up. And Floyd's like, oh yeah, they're the worst you've got. These are terrible. So she is just appalled by the fact that Andy and Floyd are both just like completely happy with the sheriff taking Mr. Carp and just hitting him around the head and beating him and stuff. And so as she becomes even more appalled, the mayor walks in and she says, are you aware that the sheriff here has been taking out carps? He said, well, yeah, I wish they'd take out more of them. They're a nuisance. They're a nuisance around. She said, well, I'm going back home where this kind of thing can't happen. He says, well, yeah, we'll do that to carps or pikes or anything. Yeah. And she leaves and they never figure out that she thought that they were talking about people. He said, Andy's like, wow, you couldn't have picked two worse fish to take up for in the world, So that goes on, and then Opie comes in, and he starts talking about Andy and about the fact they're going to be having a big celebration, a big event. They got let out of school that day. Floyd still has not been told, what are y'all talking about? And Opie's super excited about it, but Floyd doesn't know what it's about, even still, and is trying to get that information out of Andy. And the mayor said, well, we could give you big medals and stuff like that. And he said, Mayor, I can assure you neither Barney nor I would want any kind of medal. The scene immediately cuts to Barney sitting in the courthouse holding a display box full of different kinds of medals that he might get. And he's like asking, you got anything bigger or, anything, I don't want anything real flashy or anything like that. But he said just plain old pure gold would be fine. He said no diamonds. No, but if you have a ruby, that is my birthstone. So the fella that's the juror there in town, he leaves Barney in there talking to the FBI agent there in the courthouse, who is beginning to yawn, and it's just boring him to death listening to Barney, because Barney's talking about, how great he is. And then enters our photographer. The photographer comes into the room that's working with this same man. He's with the same FBI folks. And his name is Joe Layton, is the character's name. He's the photographer. And basically, Barney introduces himself to him and says, hey, is that camera really fast? You could take a picture of me doing my quick draw, because no one successfully captured it on film because it's so fast. Barney leaves it to FBI agent and the reporter standing in the office. Well, this is when we find out that it's all a fake. These are criminals here to basically try to rob Mayberry. They've been casing the area. The photographer's casing the area and everything. Well, Barney, who in the earlier part of the episode, when Otis was in the jail cell he was complaining about the music. He didn't like folk music. He didn't like all that stuff. Well, Andy said, well, people write things about famous people, and we sing about them. Well, Barney comes barging into the courthouse at this point in the episode, and he has gotten, Andy, look, they've written a song about us. And it's Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Told every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were, this is silly, Barney. Whoever wrote this must have been some kind of a joke. It was not. That's what he says, because he wrote it. Barney had written it because why wait on somebody else? Let's make sure we got a story written about us. So as they're kind of arguing about that, Floyd leads in a group of tourists into the barbershop because he is showing people around town about this low crime rate and how wonderful it is. And Andy and Barney are like just looking at him and he said, here they are, the two men responsible for this wonderful crime rate. And Floyd is bragging on them. And Andy says, Floyd, could I see you outside? And Floyd's like, oh, it's never a good thing when the sheriff asks you to step outside. But he steps outside with Andy and leaves Barney in the room full of these tourists to continue the tour. So Floyd goes outside with Andy, and they begin to talk about, what are you doing with all these people? Where they come? Well, the tourists they want to see. I just went down to the depot or wherever it was. The bus loaded out and asked if they'd like to see some famous locations. And he brought them down. He said, Floyd, you can't do that to people. He said, I forgot how he says it, but basically Floyd said, it wasn't for nothing. I charged them 25 cents. So it wasn't, he charged them 2 bits is what he actually says. And so it goes from there where Andy's like, hey, you shouldn't be doing this, to Aunt B in the mayor's office with other ladies and gentlemen. And they're trying to figure out how they're going to honor Andy and Barney. And she even has a photo album full of Andy's like baby pictures and when he was young. that she begins to show them. Well, Andy walks in during this, and he's like, Aunt B, what are y'all doing? So he's trying to get them to stop. And in the meantime, remember, Barney was left down in the courthouse with that group of tourists. We go back to the courthouse. Barney's showing them around to the jail cells, maximum security cells, and all that kind of stuff. Well, he walks over to the jail cell nearest the windows, the one Otis is not normally in. And he's telling the crowd about this, about the jail cell. Well, Otis walks in. He stumbles in to the courthouse. He walks around, and Barney just looks like he's about to lose it, aghast. And he walks in and gets the key, and you've seen it, where he takes the key behind his back and goes and unlocks the door while everybody's just standing motionless. He hangs the key back on the door after he closes it, or on the wall. And Barney says, well, you see there, that's, we got them even, they're so afraid they come and arrest themselves. We don't even have to go into it. And he gets on to Otis, and, basically that's kind of over. We cut back over to the street where the reporter, the fake photographer, I should say, and the FBI agent once again meet up, and they're talking about how easy this place is going to be to steal from. And when Andy walks up right outside the courthouse, the photographer says, well, could we get a picture of you and the agent here? So Andy says, well, if he doesn't mind, I guess I don't. So basically he ends up getting his picture made with this FBI agent, shaking his hand and everything. And so Andy, that's what makes him suspicious. Well, later they meet at the town, I guess the the theater of some kind. I don't know what this is. It's the room where Rafe Hollister sings and everything. It's that room in Mayberry. And the mayor's giving a little speech about the crime-free Mayberry, and he introduces the FBI agent. Well, Andy and Barney and the photographer standing off stage watching this occur. Well, Andy notices the photographer leave. Well, it cuts, the scene does, to the photographer. He's evidently a safe cracker because he's at the Mayberry Bank, and he is trying to unlock the safe there at the Mayberry Bank. So it cuts back and forth during this time between the FBI agent talking about the crime rate and how low it is. And this is when Barney comes out and yells, one of our trivia questions, "We defy the mafia!" Everyone kind of chuckles, and Barney goes backstage. We cut back over again, see that the guy's trying to open that safe. He's sweating, he's sanding his fingertips, all that kind of things you've seen on every movie or TV show. And he succeeds. He opens the door. He walks into the bank's vault. And as he walks in, he's looking around, and he's like, I finally done it. And the camera pans out enough that you see Andy sitting in the bank vault, waiting on the criminal to come in. And he says, well, you've done in just 15 minutes what we haven't been able to do in 15 years. I may be getting the years and the minutes wrong, so don't quote me on those. But he basically says, that door has been locked for all this time. And he said, well, how did you get in? Oh, well, there's a back door we put in so we could get in here because we couldn't get in through the vault. So basically Andy arrests the guy, and it cuts to most likely the next morning where Barney is sitting in the courthouse. He's dejected that he didn't realize that it was fake. He says, Barney, well, you would have known it too if you'd have been there when they took his picture. FBI agents don't let their picture be taken. And Barney's like, well, yeah, maybe. And then we see Floyd walking in the front door of the courthouse with another tour group. And so Barney gets up to start giving the tour once again to a group of tourists who've come to see this location where the crime rate is the lowest in the nation. And he shows off the arrest that he has made of these two criminals, the photographer, the fake photographer, and the fake FBI agent. And we just see Andy grinning as this occurs. Well, it comes the next day, you got Barney again trying to write a song. Is this one the Andy and Barney? I don't remember. He's writing another song about in a jailhouse down in Dixie, fighting crime and risking life. Dwelt the sheriff and his buddy, pistol packing, Barney Fife. That whole song, he does it. And of course, Andy throws in the last verse, and Barney is all upset and basically storms out of the courthouse. And that is the end of the episode. So there you go. So that is a recap and kind of a run through. All right. So now we're going to do odd facts known by a few. So if you're ready for those, let's get those going because those are always fun. So odd facts known by a few, all related to this particular episode. So we're going to start off with the fact, this is one of our trivia questions, really. This is the only episode of the Andy Griffith Show written by Paul Henning. Now, Paul Henning later created, this was one of our trivia questions, the Beverly Hillbillies and Petticoat Junction. He did other shows as well, but those are the two that are most related to Mayberry, our show. The actor who played Joe Layton, the photographer, that guy, he actually passed away on his birthday, which was his 85th birthday in 1997. Sadly, that's when he passed away. So he also another little tidbit about this particular character. The character Joe Layton, one of the criminals, as I said, the photographer, it has an interesting origin. Andy Griffith suggested the name Joe Layton, honoring real-life New York director and choreographer Joe Layton, who directed The Lost Colony, an outdoor drama in Manteo, North Carolina, that Andy had performed in. And Andy had a summer home there as well, but he had performed there early in his career in the play The Lost Colony. So there's ties in right there. Thought you'd like that. In this episode, we're looking through the courthouse window, or the courthouse door, I guess is really what it should be. Looking through the courthouse doors at the beginning of the episode when Barney comes in, you can see outside the courthouse then, and you can also see it in the barber shop when they bring in the lady reporter. So it's actually, you can see it when it's the mayor and the FBI agent, when they come in the front door of the courthouse, you're looking at an angle from Otis's jail cell out the door, which is a different angle than we usually are at. If you look out the door, you'll actually see the church outside. And normally we don't see the church when we look through the door. And we also don't see it when we look through the barber shop door either. But it's when they come in with the lady reporter. If you look out the door and window of the barbershop, you can see it there as well, that that's the church outside the window. So this is something to kind of look for, is something I've never seen this before. I noticed it as I was watching the episode to get ready for the podcast, actually. This wasn't even noted on any of our odd facts. I spotted it. So watch for that when you're looking through it. If when Margaret Williamson, the reporter, you see the All Souls Church out the window there in the barbershop and at the courthouse. So a little bit of odd facts known by a few. There you go. All right. So in this episode, Barney mentions that his birthstone is a ruby. I mentioned that as we were going through it when discussing the medals. Okay. Suggesting that his birthday is in July. So Barney's birthday is in July. Don Knotts' birthday is July the 21st, and he was born in 1924. So Barney and Don Knotts shared at least the July part of his birthday. So we got to assume that Barney's birthday was also July 21st. So we assume that. All right. So Floyd, just as I mentioned before, the odd facts, you may not remember, Floyd charges 25 cents or 2 bits each for the tourist visiting the Mayberry Courthouse. Andy's childhood photos are shown in this episode. Now, the interesting part about that is that it is really Andy's. That's really Andy. And if you ever go to the Mayberry Museum, the Andy Griffith Museum in Mount Airy, you'll see these pictures. They're there. But you see a picture of Andy as a baby and then Andy as a, I don't know, 8-year-old, maybe 9-year-old boy. Those are real pictures of Andy that added a little bit more realism to the show, but those are actually real photos. There's a notable blooper in this particular episode. It's when they are in the courthouse and Otis comes in to lock himself up. If you watch the episode, and it's not super clear to see, but if you watch it, after Otis has come in and is locking himself up, he slams the door to the jail cell. And if you watch, there's already a key hanging on the nail that's between the two jail cells. If you watch, that wall, that brick wall, shakes and moves, and you can see the key move as well. So that's something you'll have to watch for in the episode. Because if you're watching the video version, I'm showing pictures, but you can't see the shaking in the picture, but it's there. Let's see. I should have mentioned, I should have done some screenshots. That particular scene when Otis comes in and does the key around behind him and unlocks the door, we redid that when we filmed Mayberry Man the movie. Stark Howell wrote that exact scene almost into the movie. And you see Kenneth Junkin as Otis come in and do the same thing, get in the jail cell and lock himself in while the lady is given a tour of the courthouse in the Mayberry Man movie. If you haven't seen the Mayberry Man movie, there should be links in our show notes for that. Go and check it out. It's really fun. If you like the Andy Griffith Show, you're going to love this movie because there's all kinds of things like this in the movie. All right, so there's a little tidbit for you guys about the Mayberry Man movie. All right, so in the episode, The Bank Job, it's coming up in season 3. It's the 13th episode of season 3. Barney falls into the bank safe. If you remember that, he goes into the safe and they can't get him out. And he ends up busting through the wall into the beauty salon to get out. Well, in this episode, there's a back door from the vault. So this was a year or so before, because this is the 7th episode of season 2. By the 13th episode, so more than a year later of season 3, there is no back door anymore, because I'm assuming because this guy was able to crack the safe and now they can reset the combination. And so now they know the combination, or it's a time combination. They can't get him out to the next day, right? And so they fixed this, but they sealed up that door. But maybe Barney knew where the door was. Maybe it always went into the beauty shop. So he busted through and was able to get out of the jail cell by going through that wall. So that's a little, you could say it's a continuity problem, but maybe my solution helps fix that. So that's all right. And then finally, this episode features the songs that I mentioned or kind of sang. The Ballad of Andy and Barney, or The Gangster's Mistake. There's the other part of our trivia contest, or trivia questions. And Oh My Daring Barney Fife. So those are featured in this particular episode. And that is all of our odd facts known by few. So I hope you liked it. All right, so now we're going to go back and do our trivia. So we gave you the questions early, and now it's time to go back and let's review our trivia questions and see if you got them right. Okay, and then we're going to do Paul Mulick trivia. So I hope you enjoyed these trivias, because Paul's trivia a little harder. It's a lot harder. All right, so let's head over and check these out. So here's question number 1. What's the name of the tune that Andy sings at the opening of the episode? What's the name of the tune that he sings at the opening of the episode? Was it Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald, Tom Dooley, or The Ballad of John Henry? The answer, The Ballad of John Henry. All right, so how'd you do on that one? Did you get it right? All right, I already given you the answer earlier in the episode, so if you're listening, you got it. Mayor Pike enters the jailhouse and introduces a man to Barney and Andy that he calls what does the man say his name is? We don't really know if it's his real name. It's Fred Jenkins. Fred Jenkins is his name. Mayberry is, this is question 3, supposedly the most crime-free community in, is it the state, the East Coast, or in the United States? All right, so this is a little bit another odd fact known by few. He says, the FBI agent says, in the United States. At one point, the mayor actually says in the state. Well, if it is in the United States, it would also be true of the state. So go back and watch the episode and make sure I'm right on that, but I believe that is correct. All right, number 4. Barney says that the word that best describes him and Andy is, what is the word that best describes him? Well, you want to say humble because he's just all filled up with humbleness, but it's not. It's modest. Modest is the word that best describes he and Andy. Number 5, the newspaper woman gets mad at Andy because Andy tells a story about killing a, what did he kill? I already told you this in the episode. Surely he killed a carp. I wouldn't know more than I'd kill a pike. All right, number 6. There's a reason why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy. There's me. Fill in the blank. And baby makes 3. That's the reason. All right, number 7. The Ballad of Andy and Barney, or I just told you this one, The Gangster's Mistake. Of course, I really like these names, The Heroes of Mayberry or The Follies of Crime. Those are good names as well. All right, number 8. The nickname Barney uses in this episode, it's Fast Gun Fight, because he's never been successfully, or his draw has never been successfully photographed. All right, number 9. Barney leaps to the stage and exclaims, "We defy the mafia." That's the answer. Yes. All right. And number 10, our last question. This is the one episode of the Andy Griffith Show written by Paul Henning, who later created the Beverly Hillbillies. So there you go. All right. So thank you to MeTV for these questions. Now that you've had a warm up, we have got a bonus set of questions worth 9 points that are from Paul Mulick, our Mayberry trivia expert. And these guys are not as easy. So I'll be watching our chat rooms and see how they're doing. Speaking of our chat rooms, if you'd like to join with us, we're here on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you go to live.twochairsnowaiting.com, you should be able to get there. And if you can't get there that way, go to imayberry.com/podcast and click the live button there in the menu. Okay. All right. So here we go. We got a lot of folks in our chat rooms, so I'll be watching them. They're everywhere. They're on Facebook, they're on YouTube, and they're in our main chat room. So here we go. Question number 1. Are you ready? Question number 1. This is a quote that you need to fill in the blank here for. It's, "I was the most loved blank you ever saw." Okay, now let me say these are complete the quote, and it's from Andy Taylor. Andy Taylor. So Andy said this, okay? "I was the most loved blank you ever saw." Now I'm going to give you a little hint. It's actually 2 blanks, blank, blank. "I was the most blank, blank, most loved blank, blank you ever saw." Oh my goodness, they're getting it right in our chat rooms. I don't know that I would have gotten these. It's worth 1 point. It's worth 1 point, okay? I'll give you one more hint. It's from the episode, The New Housekeeper. All right. How did you get it? All right. The answer, "I was the most loved purple baby you ever saw." That's the answer. Purple baby. Andy said that. These are all Andy saying these things, okay? Question number 2. "I want you to look at that blank. Ain't it pretty?" Now, see, that's hard right there. I think that's very hard. "I want you to look at that blank." Again, I'll give you another hint. It's 2 words, blank, blank. "I want you to look at that blank, blank. Ain't it pretty? Ain't that pretty?" All right. This one's tough, man. These are tough. Paul Mulick, he's throwing the tough questions on you. So enjoy the easy ones I was giving you earlier. All right, so I'm going to give you another hint. It's from the episode Andy the Matchmaker. Andy the Matchmaker, if that helps you. I know some of you guys don't know the names of the episodes. I want you to look at that blank blank. Ain't that pretty? The answer, and I don't see anybody getting this one right. It's worth 1 point if you get it. Okay, the answer is blueberry pie. I want you to look at that blueberry pie. Ain't that pretty? So there you go. Blueberry pie is the answer. Okay, so the first one was I was the most loved purple baby you ever saw. And this is blueberry pie. Okay. All right, so maybe he was purple because he's eating blueberry pie. I'm not sure. All right, number 3. Here we go, number 3. You got a new set of threads and a blank and 3 guitars to feed. Okay, so this is, there you go. You got it. Let me say it again. You got a set of threads and a blank and 3 guitars to feed. He says guitars. All right. So first little hint. Oh, folks got this one in the chat room. First little hint is 3 words. 3 words. Not just a blank. So it's blank, blank, blank. You got a set of threads and a blank, blank, blank and 3 guitars to feed. 3 words. The episode is The Guitar Player Returns. Does that help? Folks in the chat room are definitely getting this. All right, so some folks are getting closer. Oh, good. Sharon Eulis from the Mayberry Cruise. Guys, you want to go with us on the Mayberry Cruise? It's coming up. Check out, if you go to facebook.com/Mayberry Cruise, you can go with us. Reach out to Sharon. She got part of the answer. The answer is you got a set of threads and a little red car and 3 guitars to feed. So it's a little red car. Sharon almost got it. Several folks almost got the quote, but that was it. All right. So now this next one is worth 2 points. Oh my goodness. It's worth 2 points because this is a pretty long quote here. Okay. All right. So this one says, Andy says, go way out on Highway 6 and look for a blank. Oh my goodness. I don't know if anybody will get it from that. I wouldn't have gotten these. I was going to try to look up the actual quote so you could hear them. All right, here we go. I'm going to give you another hint on this. Go way out Highway 6 and look for a blank. It's really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. Okay. And you get 2 points if you can get this right. Oh my goodness. South Carolina Cody in our chat room for the win. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Got it. I got real close. Anyway, I'm giving it to him. All right. Here is the answer because I think you will never get this. It's from the episode Barney's Sidecar, by the way. Go way out Highway 6 and look for a green hat with pink roses on it. That was what we were looking for. It was worth 2 points. Worth 2 points. That was a tough one. That was tough. Great job on that, Paul. Man. All right. So have you been paying attention to any kind of a trend that's going on here? I know Andy's saying them all, but pay attention. All right. This one's worth 2 points again. Eat lunch consisting of A, egg salad sandwich, B, whole lettuce and tomato, C, blank, and D, have one of them blank. So there's 2 sets of blanks in this one. Oh, whew. All right. So this is Andy saying it. All right. So eat lunch consisting of A, egg salad sandwich, B, whole lettuce and tomato, C, blank, and D, have one of them blank. Okay. All right. So the first blank is actually 2 words. Okay. First blank's 2 words, and the second blank is 3 words. All right. All right. So I'll give it to you one more time. Oh my goodness, folks are getting D. There's D. Cody, South Carolina, he got D. Wow, folks in the chat room, are y'all getting this? These are hard. So I tip a hat if I had one on to the folks getting these. Oh, I see Jeff got it right. Got part of it. He got D as well over on our YouTube chat room. All right, here comes the answers. I'm going to have to give them to you. This is from The Bank Job, by the way, the episode The Bank Job. All right, so it's Andy saying, okay, I'm going to eat lunch consisting of A, egg salad sandwich, B, hold the lettuce and tomato, C, coffee, black, and D, have one of them little yellow cookies. So it's little yellow cookies, and C was coffee, black. That's what it said. Oh my goodness. I give credit. You get 1 point if you only got one of them. You get 2 points if you got both coffee, black, and little yellow cookies. Okay. Good job to everybody that got that. All right. And here's, we got one more question. Okay. Here's Andy's quote. He says, oh, I hope you made that good blank like you did last year. Andy says, oh, I hope you made that good blank like you did last year. It's 2 words, blank, blank. Hope you made that good blank, blank like you did last year. Okay, looking to see if anybody's getting it yet. So you got the hint, it's 2 words. Okay, the next hint is it's from the episode The Christmas Story. I hope you made that good blank, blank like you did last year. I don't see any. Oh, yeah, folks. Yeah, Rebecca in the YouTube chat room knew it was from the Christmas episode. Oh, she's so close to getting the exact answer. I think I would give her credit for this. It's really close. The answer is, oh, I hope you made that good orange dressing like you did last year. Orange dressing is what it was. Emmett got it in our main chat room. I see him in there. Sharon got dressing. Good job. Wow. I'm impressed you get anything close. All right. So that's all the trivia questions, but did you notice anything about all the quotes? Something they had in common? Did you notice anything? I'll give you a point for that too. Did you notice anything that all the questions had in common? Okay. Think about all the answers. And here comes the answer. I'm not going to wait. You can pause if you don't want to hear the answer yet. But the answer is all of the answers included a color. No, not all said by Andy. I told you that at the beginning, but that's true. But they all had colors. They all had colors. Oh my goodness. So Paul with the trivia. Some folks got this. How many of you feel inadequate like I do? Because I don't know if I'd have done very well on this particular one. So folks, that is all I have for you this week from Two Chairs. I do want to mention that the Mayberry Retreat is coming up. I don't know if you guys know about that, but it's on our calendar, our event calendar over at imayberry.com. But we'll be traveling to that in a few weeks, the Mayberry Retreat. It's going to be in Sonder Heritage Inn in Archbold, Ohio. It's May 7th through the 9th. And you can go. If you go to mayberrybooks.com/Mayberry Retreat, you can find out all the information there. You can still reach out. I think you can still go. So you'd have to reach out to Randy Turner from This Week in Mayberry History. He's the one putting on that event. And the special guest is going to be Dixie Griffith and also a musical guest, Tim White from the VW Boys. That's right. VW Boys that are here on our podcast all the time playing music. Thank you. That was them, matter of fact, playing music behind the trivia. So thank you to Tim and for that. And hey, I hope you can come to see Randy. We would love to see you there. Got all kinds of stuff. Check out the event calendar at imayberry.com for all kinds of events like that. And you too can make sure you're attending. Well, folks, I believe that is all I have for us this evening. Anything else? I would like to tell you that next week we're going to have a nice special report from some of our tribute artists that went to a big event up in in the Pennsylvania area. They're going to be providing some information. Plus, we got some information coming in from Keith Underwood that sent me a voicemail about the Andy Griffith Show being voted on to become the official state TV show of North Carolina. So he's got some good information about that. So we'll be hearing from them next week, and maybe some of the rest of you as well. I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call and leave a message at 888-684-8415, or you can record yourself on your cell phone and then email me that recording at floyd@imayberry.com, which is even better than leaving a voicemail because it's really clear and sounds good, and you could edit it before you send it. You'll know what it sounds like. I'd love to hear from you. Again, drop by over at Two Chairs No Waiting and leave a message there. Email me at floyd@imayberry.com. It would be great to hear from you, and if you send it in before Saturday or so, I'll be able to put it on next week's podcast. So until then, guys, have a great Mayberry week, and we'll see you here on Two Chairs. Good night, everybody.